live, baby. We live. We live, baby. Oh, I gotta do that one. Both of them. This is good. Yeah, you're moving. My bad. Oh, you're sitting down.
All right, guys, so we're live with episode 5 of the Popcast, live on Instagram. This will be uploaded to YouTube if you miss it or you prefer watching it on YouTube. So we're here with Pat, the Adult Slayer Shigoli, Frankie Vengeance Rodriguez, and Vanny the Son, Chris Van Dunk. If you guys didn't get a chance to watch their matches on the past weekend Sogi, you can find the replay on Flow. If you don't follow them on Instagram, I'm going to tag them in the comments so you can give them a follow. But I'm calling this Popcast the future. These are like the young and upcoming guys that we're training with. And I really want to get their perspective on training and how they utilize it in their life and how they got into jiu-jitsu. So we've talked before with Pat and Vanny, so I want to start with Frankie. Basically, how you got into jiu-jitsu and why you stayed in jiu-jitsu.
So UFC is definitely like was my first inspiration for jiu-jitsu. I was watching like a bunch of UFC matches. The first ever card I watched was Khabib versus Conor. So I watched him like wrestle. And I just looked up like different ways to want to get into MMA. And the first thing I saw was jiu-jitsu. And before my first class here at 10 Planet, I watched Gary Tonin versus Usman Polaris, I think it was.
Polaris,
yeah,
that's a great match.
I think it was the on Polaris card. I was like, yeah, like I'm definitely gonna stick with it. And then I came in and did the first class. I think I did like a 30-minute private with Steve before my first class, and then the first class. And it's just something like going into jiu-jitsu, I was like, all right, like I wanna like give it my all and give like 100% of it, 100% of myself to jiu-jitsu. And that's just why I stuck with it. Just going into the mindset, I was like, all right, like I watched that first match and it was like crazy. So like I wanna like attempt to get to that level. And
So
that's how it started.
give everyone an idea of your basically travel routine for your first year of jiu-jitsu.
I mean, even like the first like year and a half. I live in Queens, based at Queens, just like the last 2 towns going into Long Island. We're like exit 55 right now, so I drive like 30 something exits, and in peak traffic it's like an hour and a half to get here. With no traffic, it's like 30 minutes, but I drive like 60 miles altogether to get here. I've been doing that for like a year and a half.
Right off rip.
Yeah, literally that. Yeah, and like I read something on Reddit. It was like the first like school you join like has the biggest influential like on your game. So I didn't want to just join like a random gym that just like showed me like really bad technique. I wanted to join a gym that like had like exposure to high level competition and people like obviously the community as well. So I was like, if I want to devote my life to train jiu-jitsu to a certain amount, I want to at least like make it like worthwhile my money. So
Yeah.
that's why I like committed myself to the travel.
Cool. So let's go down the line. We'll go with Vanny, Frankie, and then Pat. Give us a in-depth or a quick recap on your match at Sogi, your takeaways, anything you want to talk about. Your opponent, how you felt leading up to it, how you felt after, whatever you want. You go first, Vanny.
I took my match on like 1 day notice, but I don't regret it at all. Like Pop was telling me that somebody pulled out and that he needed somebody. I think who was it that pulled out?
Someone got hurt.
Somebody got hurt. So and then I was so down to just compete against like high level black belts and just go at it for like a belt and $1,000 on Sogi. It's just like I had to say yes to that. Plus I'm competing this week on Friday and I just wanted to like get ready for competition and just roll at high level like black belts and see how I do against them. And it was awesome, man. I lost my match 8 minutes into the match by an armbar to Enrique. His pressure was insane. Like that, I know you guys saw it. If you guys watched the match on Flow, the knee on my face, the knee on belly, it was like I was just kind of getting tortured the whole match. There was one time when he went to scoop up the armbar that he went to scoop it up, fell back, and then went to come up, and I was able to get him in my full guard for a second. But then he quickly stacked me, scooped one leg up, and I tried to throw up a triangle arm bar, and he just threw that shit out of the way and passed my guard again. And then ended up catching an arm bar like 8 minutes into the match. But you learned from that. It was a great match. It was awesome.
What was the biggest thing you thought was different between usually you do like blue, purple belt matches and Enrique as a black belt? Was it the strength, pressure, the pace. What did you feel was the biggest like takeaway like that you felt the difference in the levels?
Definitely in his pressure. It was definitely the pressure. There's definitely a technique difference there. Like I can just feel it like going in there. Like when I put my arm like under his armpit, like trying to get that under armpit grip, and he threw that leg in front. And Pat was like, "Yo, watch out on bar." It just felt tight right
just
off
had
that.
awareness.
Just right off that, I was like, this guy's got strength, technique, pressure. I knew he was good right off rip.
So now you have Tap coming up this week,
Yeah.
coming off a match with like a high level black belt. Does that give you a little confidence going into a match with someone your own level? Or
Yeah, I feel really good at my level, especially when I have training with guys like you guys that are amazing, and then going up against high level black belts in competition, and now purple belts and blue belt. I do feel confident at my own level as blue purple versus guys at that level, that my own weight class.
so, and then Frankie, give us the run through on Nick Dongioni. I know you guys went all the way to OT, so I feel like that was a really good back and forth match. You weren't really stuck that often, you know.
Yeah, that I'm like same thing as me. I think it took the match like 2 days notice.
Yeah, he
that.
took it
Damn
on
promoter.
2 days notice.
This guy. It's just something like his pressure was insane. Like going off of anything he said is like they give you zero space. That's like the biggest difference. Like if I'm stuck on a bottom mount or in back control of like purple belts or even like some blue belts, there's always like a little space they give you. They give you that underhook space. But with him, I got like zero space at all. I tried to kip escape, couldn't like, get anything. Even like in his guard, I was like very like hesitant to stand up because I know he had me in his X guard, and I knew he had a really good pressure passing coming out of central under like JT Torres, and I rolled with Solano before, so I know like how that like deep cut pressure was. So just like they literally give you zero space. That's like the biggest takeaway.
So you guys are noticing it's more of like a positional game.
Yeah.
Everyone knows how to break an arm.
Yeah.
It's about like creating those opportunities, and like you end up giving it up to them even though you know it's coming. And like you, I noticed that the 2 or 3 times they were setting up the armbar, you got your elbow back to the mat right time.
Yeah.
And then Enrique compensated for that by bringing you further over to your side.
Yeah.
So it's very like little details, and that's just gonna, now when you guys go and face other people your own level, you can have that in mind. No space, pressure, you know, like stuff like that. Do you have a match at that?
Yeah, I got a match.
Julian Diaz.
Oh, Julian from at New York City.
Yeah.
All right.
I think
like
it's
that.
Hopefully it's at 85. At least not 250.
90, 85, yeah.
That's good.
All right, so now Pat, walk us through the match with Alex, because this was a match that was set up for December. Unfortunately, Alex got hurt. So, how long have you been preparing for him? What was your mindset about Alex? Right, like your game plan based on his game. How long have you wanted a match with him, and how did you feel before the match stylistically? What the best game plan would be? Because obviously you guys are both known as like leg lockers, but Alex is way more than that, and I think you showed that you're way more than that. So I think we got a really good show of the two of you not just trying to leg lock each other. But before the match happened, what was your mindset like leading up to it?
So originally at a finishers event last year, he was fighting in the 230 bracket, and I was also fighting in the higher one. And he needed an opponent, and I needed one as well. And he originally fought, and I fought too. We were just waiting on the side, and Zach asked us if we wanted to fight, and I was immediately down. But he was just like, "Oh, I competed already. Like, let's run it back in the next event." I told Zach, my dad, you know, let's run the match. You know, I just want new people, new competitors, just so I can roll with everyone and get my name in there and just beat up all the heavyweights. And the first time Sogi pulled out of injury, so I had more time to prepare, and I really wanted to showcase my wrestling and just not like pulling guard off the bat and trying to leg lock, but you know, wrestling up from like full sweep, and then just showcasing what I've been working for ADCC rule sets and, you know, points overall. So I have a more well-rounded game than people just knowing me as like the pull guard and leg lock people. So I was happy. Just I didn't execute as much takedowns, but you know, I showcased that I was able to, you know, not hang with wrestlers, but you know, show that I've been working my wrestling, and then counter wrestling reactions like against Alex, which is he also was working his wrestling as well. He obviously has the same goals as me. We want to win. ADCC points, finishers, Sogi. Can't just have a one game and prepare to execute it in the match. You need to be prepared for anything. Wrestling, passing. I was prepared to pass his guard and wrestle, but we were standing for a bit. I was my self-esteem was a little low. Him being a little bigger than me. I pulled guard off the bat, but I like to get myself warmed up before actually attempting this, actually turn up in my game. So I pulled guard, just low, relax, and as soon as I got a small little reaction off them, then I started to stand, and then I started to not pick up the pace a little bit, but not turn up, but start get a high intensity match. Collar ties, feinting, letting based off his reactions and trying to take him down, and then I like to work my wrestling up as well, that you saw in my finishers match with Stevie, using the same full sweep, but instead of bringing my leg out and circling to the back, I caught the far leg ankle pick, and I had the single leg, but I slipped and his leg got out. But if I'm able to execute that, and now I know I just need to work on controlling the foot more and then taking him down all the way and getting the points.
So obviously it went to OT, but you won on ride time. But walk us through the transition to crucifix, because up until that point it was pretty even. I think it was Alex might have even been up on you.
Yeah, Alex.
Is that something you had planned, worked on, or was it just something you grabbed in the moment to hold the position?
Mainly something I grabbed in during the scramble. Obviously I try to work crucifix to the back. It's really dominant and holding position, but Alex took my back first round. I like to feel out my opponent. From wrestling to someone having your back is a big difference. So knowing what he has in his pocket, seeing will he go for the face crush, will he come up for the head and arm, just to see where your opponent is going when you first escape. And the second time, he got out quicker than me. So I needed to know that just dominant position, controlling his whole upper body. And when he got past my leg, he was doing really well, pushing my foot down off his hip and getting my hook off. So when he did that, when he got his hips out, brought my top leg over, and just wanted to control as much as I could, not just focusing on the choke until the last round, where the bottom of the third, I started crawling my hand up, and he started going belly down, and I had my hands connected a little bit, and I felt him grimacing, but he turned in, and I just got the back control again. That's what I'm good at, holding back control, but I just got to focus on finishing. That's what I really want to execute. Just not really EBI wins, but actually dominating and finishing my opponents.
So that you end up winning Sogi heavyweight champ, finishers heavyweight champ, finishers pound for pound. 16 years old, 23 years old, 20 years old. So that's my next thing I want to touch on. When I started training, I probably started training when I was 26. When I was 16, 17, 18, 19, 23, I know that my friend group and my environment wouldn't have been the best thing for jiu-jitsu. So I want to hear from Vanny, I want to hear from Frankie, how you navigate maintaining your training schedule with all these influences from your friends who maybe want to party or eat this kind of food, stay out late. So is that an issue for you? Is that stuff that you just have a good boundary with?
It definitely does interfere at some times when all your friends want to go out and do stuff, but you can't because you have to stay inside because you're competing that week, or you have to make a certain weight, so you can't go out to eat sometimes, or you can't drink or anything like that because. And
what's your friend's reaction? Do you tell them hey, I have an important match? Are they supportive? Are they trolling you? Are they?
Some friends are your actual friends are gonna be understanding of it. Your actual friends are gonna be understanding of it.
They pull up the Sogi.
Yeah, exactly. I've had some of my friends actually come watch my matches too, and it's awesome. Those friends are gonna be understanding of your actual friends. People that aren't understanding of you wanting to better yourself for some reason, I wouldn't call those people your actual friends.
What about you, Frankie?
So when I was 16, 17, I didn't really do anything sports related. I grew up in Brooklyn, so a lot of like me and friends are hanging out, like so, like at the park or stuff like that. But actually, like 19, I got into powerlifting, and I think that like laid the groundwork of like my discipline for jiu-jitsu. I competed in powerlifting like 3 times. So like going into jiu-jitsu, I had like some sort of discipline, but I definitely wasn't like jiu-jitsu definitely takes a different type. Like powerlifting, you can like eat whatever you want, like slack off a little bit.
Yeah.
But like this, like if you want to get like to the high level, or even like a decent level, you can be pretty like sleep, food, and there's you have everything in order. So when I started taking this like really serious, like I want to say 7 months ago, where like I was training like twice a day, stuff like that, I definitely cut out a lot of my friends because they were like, oh, like why don't you pull up to like a party or something like that. Especially like, now I'm 23, so like the bars are all open and stuff like that. And I definitely cut it out. There's a bunch of like losers, like they just like drink all day. I mean, like it's cool if you want to do that, but like obviously like, I have like a certain goal on the head.
Yeah.
But I cut a lot of people out, but I definitely think like powerlifting laid like the foundation of my discipline.
Yeah. So I noticed like in the beginning, maybe it's like I'll start training, maybe I cut out sugar, then I cut out eating out, then I cut out talking to negative people, then I cut out, and eventually like really just like almost like shaping a statue. You just make your life very disciplined and simple. So there's like less things to worry about. You're focused on a goal, and the people who like resonate with you are the ones that like this circle right here. Everyone here in this circle understands like, no, I'm not going out Friday because Saturday's competition day. You don't even have to bring it up, and like you're not gonna ask me to go to the bar. I'm not gonna ask you to eat at McDonald's. It makes it really easy. Pat, I know you're like out of the house 24/7. So how do you handle that with?
During school, I was like the class clown, like before quarantine. Always like messing with the teachers, you know, just distractions, just like the main guy, you know, making everyone laugh. But during quarantine, where my maturity, you know, just training consistently 2 to 3 times a day, really changed. You know, I wasn't really hanging out with my friends as much, and not dropped anyone, but you know, slowly started talking, not talking to everyone, and just focusing on training. You know, this was during like the Patty Ice Challenge and like COVID. You know, not really making my name, but you know, I was getting up there. And then 10th grade, you know, we go back to school and like whole different person. You know, I was mainly like weren't talking to anyone. Just you know, I just want to get this done. You know, go back home, train. At this time I was teaching the kids class at 4:30, so get out of school at 2:20, get homework done, eat, and then I have to leave. So, but I was slowly quiet, you know, then my friends started talking to me again, and then that class clown phase, like, you know, came back, and I knew it had to change, you know. Then in February, left school, you know, did homeschooling, and then like a lot of people doubted me. They were like, this is a bad choice. And after like I made my mark into the jiu-jitsu scene, you know, I got like mad DMs being like, oh, like, yo, we should chill again, like, oh, remember like you was my friend. I'm like, no, like, I'm just doing my thing, you know, you're still in school, but you know, I'm just like doing my thing. But you know, I don't really have like school friends, you know. All my friends are just in jiu-jitsu, like Frankie, Vanny, you know, Diego, Jose, Greg, you know. They're mainly much older than me, so I learn, you know, I pick a few things from everyone, you know. I learn from the people like I train with and chill with, like maturity wise, you know, like they're telling me like save my money, you know, how to eat this, you know, like get rest, you know, get recovery. I know I learned from like from hanging out with people much older than me. Being the younger one, like Frankie being like 23, Vanny being 20, you know, they have 3 to 5 years on me, so I can learn from them. Like they've been in my shoes, or not in my shoes, but they've been my age once, and they know like which route to go.
So let's do some quick questions. So let's do like favorite submission.
Favorite submission? Ooh, probably.
And don't say that neck crank thing from the Master Lock.
I hit a shit ton of Kimuras, but I gotta say RNC.
You know, the heel hook, but on Frankie maybe a muffler.
Alright, favorite grappler.
Favorite
that you like to watch, you know? Or that you came up watching.
I like a lot of I like Jacob Couch a lot, he's cool.
Big Kieran Kachuk.
I think I grew up
Pick one.
Meows.
You guys all got it wrong. It's favorite grappler's Pop. Alright, favorite match you like to study? Not that you like to watch, but you like to study. So mine's Crone and Marcelo. If I'm thinking like, if I get stagnant with single leg X, I go watch that match, and I just watch Marcelo make this guy trip all the time with his single leg X. Or maybe it's just a match you enjoy watching.
Match I enjoy watching.
It could be your own match. Maybe you like watching back a match that you had a good performance in.
Yeah. I just like watching a lot of like.
Or you're more into like MMA, right?
Yeah, but I do like watching like ADCC and IBJJF matches just to see how like the points play out.
Yeah.
I can't really pick.
What about you?
I think because I'm getting like with the goals for trials, I watch a lot of like ADCC and trials matches, and off the top of my head, I think a lot of the Mika matches, like Mika versus Dante, or
The ADCC one.
Yeah, the ADCC.
The one on WNO also is
they're really good.
Dante.
Yeah, most of my matches I really like watch right now is ADCC. Gordon versus 2017 ADCC. Gordon versus Keenan was a really good one. I like
With
watching.
the guillotine.
Yeah.
Prize at the end.
Yeah.
Keenan did have the flu. What about you, Pat? I know you watch a lot of tape, but pick one that is like one you always go back to that you can take something away from. Or the one that helped you a lot.
I like watching Buchecha and Gordon. You know, it's from
that's a
ACC
good one, yeah.
2019.
That shoulder crunch.
Yeah, they're both, you know, legends in the game, and just seeing like a current legend and then like a past legend going at it, and just the clash of their jiu-jitsu. It's a really good match to watch. Not really like study, but you know, just watch good technical jiu-jitsu, like showcase against two high-level competitors. Meow versus Rotolo, ADCC, Lachlan's Run, ADCC. Mainly like any ADCC matches, watching live, definitely West Coast Trials.
JT Torres versus PJ Barge.
JT Torres with PJ Barge, ADCC.
Shout out to PJ for
Crazy
ending
upset.
ending the streak.
Crazy upset.
I forgot. PJ and Cody Steele at East Coast Trials.
We got to see that one live.
Live, yeah. Any trials match, ADCC match watching live was insane in West Coast.
One match I watched recently to study a lot was Cole versus Damien, on who's number one.
Oh, that's a good match.
Cole's guard is like really like dynamic.
Dante and Nicky Ryan
Dude,
for
versus
wrestling.
the ice
versus who's what's his name? He goes by like Okage again.
Oh, Fabricio
yeah, he
Andre.
versed him before.
He's
fought
nasty.
That was a
Damien?
close.
ADCC.
Cole. It was a close match.
Dante and Nicky Ryan for wrestling.
It was a good match.
How about like bucket list school you want to visit, or bucket list someone you want to train with in the future? Like for me, I know I definitely want to go at some point in my life to John Jock. I want to go at some point in my life to the 10P in Thailand. I know I want to go at some point in my life to I haven't been to Marcelo's. So those are all bucket list items for me.
I definitely want to drop in the headquarters one day for 10P because I've never been there before.
Hey.
But I also
Headquarters.
definitely want to go to Thailand too, just to go to all the cool Muay Thai schools and put 10P there. That would be awesome.
Frankie?
I don't know. I feel like
I mean, you're training at Unity too,
Yeah.
so you're with like a bunch of OGs there.
Yeah.
City boys.
Unity's been pretty dope, but I feel like person I want to train with. Obviously, like I always want to resonate with someone who has like similar to my game.
Yeah.
So obviously, like Kieran, I really want to train with just to get knowledge on that. I think Nicky Ryan also, because I watched a lot of like his earlier matches. I think Nicky Ryan, I like to. Nicky Ryan or Kieran, I think.
Kieran,
Those are good ones. Pat?
For myself, you know, Craig Jones. I always told myself I just want to see if I could get leg locked by him. You know, he's probably the best leg locker in jiu-jitsu. And I just want to see he'd probably mess me up, but I just want to see how my leg defense goes against his leg offense. But Craig Jones, obviously, you know, Gordon, Marigali, Cayenne, Duarte. Definitely the big boys in my weight class, but you know, that have really technical and smash passing bolo games, leg locks, overall wrestling. The big boys and the heavyweights.
Nice. All right, so let's end with this. We'll go around the room, and it's okay if you don't have this, but let's talk about where you see yourself in 1 year, 5 years, and 10 years. And if you're only have 1 year planned out, that's fine. But where you see yourself 1 year, 5 years, 10 years.
I want to start training MMA within like this year, so I want to start taking MMA fights, but also still compete in jiu-jitsu at the same time. Because I just want to like probably focus more on like just getting my striking better and like my wrestling better and just rolling with gloves on. But while I'm like in that waiting period to take MMA fights, I also want to compete in jiu-jitsu and stay active in jiu-jitsu because I just love the sport. It's my favorite combat sport probably.
Nice.
Love it.
Frankie?
I think for 1 year goal, I definitely want to make my name out there, especially in the regional scene, like unfinished in Sogi, to get at least like maybe top 5 finishers rankings.
Oh yeah, I want to make the rankings too. The finishers.
Make sure we tag Zach in
Yeah.
We'll clip it. So
yeah.
you want to be...
Yeah, I want to get my name out there, especially in the next year or like in the next few months. Like definitely take more matches with local black belts and stuff like that. For 5 years, I feel like something like a lot of people don't really talk about is like trying to make your name in local grappling. It's hard to balance that, like, because obviously we don't make money off this at all. So 5 years, I'd like to have like either make money from grappling or have like a pretty like low stress job where I can focus on grappling 100%. I feel like that's like a lot, especially like the first like 5 years to make your name. I feel a lot of people struggle with like working like a regular job and then also like training full time.
Yeah.
So definitely want to have like a situation where it's low stress on like working and then like really focus on grappling.
Yeah, the good thing about you guys is you're in it for the long run. And a lot of people go into it and want to be Gordon within 6 months. And when it doesn't happen, they get either discouraged or they quit. You guys know that this is going to be a long-term thing. So you saying like, hey, in 5 years, I just want to be able to be comfortable and be able to train. That's a great mindset. Some people go into this thinking like, oh, I'm going to be the next big guy like that. It doesn't happen like that. But you guys are in it for the long run, which is great. What about Pat?
In a year, I'll be 17. Not an adult yet, but you know, I my name's in there a little bit in the jiu-jitsu community, but you know, not just myself, but the people beside me helping me. You know, just being up in the jiu-jitsu community, just having our names in there, being well known like in the jiu-jitsu, and just being known for like our like technical like locks, you know, guard passing, wrestling, just overall like has a good technical jiu-jitsu. Like I don't want to be Gordon, you know, I want to be better than Gordon. You know, like that's not my goal to be someone that I'm not. Like I want to be better than the person that's like there. You know, like, I'm young, like we're all young. He's about to hit his prime, but when he's hitting his prime, I'll be where he's at, but better. You know, but I still have so much time, you know, my media company, documentaries, just all this, you know, like anything could happen in a year, 5 years, 10 years, like open up a gym, who knows, you know, just be consistent in jiu-jitsu, you know, have my name in there with the people beside me, and, you know, have just a good name in the jiu-jitsu community.
Get your license.
Your
My
license.
permit.
And your
That's your
license.
GED. All right, so you want to shout anything out? Your page, sponsor, your something project.
Yeah, shout out 10 Planet Long Island, all the 10 planets, my Instagram, Vanny.ig, VANNY.ig. Shout out to Anthony Riddle.
Bags.
Shout out to
Riddle
Tab BJJ Media, Submission Fighting, Sogi, Rubber Bones.
Sogi.
Shout out.
Shout out to VHTS.
Shout out Frankie, Pop,
Shout out to
Frankie, who you got?
Adios, Dolce.
Honestly, just shout out like this team right here. Like obviously I wouldn't be here. Like they got me the connection.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah. They got me, I got fast track to get onto finisher. I got fast track to get onto Sogi. Like they put me on flow like really quickly to showcase. Shout out Temple, Long Island. Shout out I just started training there, like Unity. They
Shout out Pop.
Marula, shout out Pop.
Dolce.
Yeah, especially he put
These two put me on.
It's a big risk to put like 2 blue belts and like a black belt, like you know what I mean? Like
Well, you guys are incurring all the risk.
yeah. I don't know. A lot of black belts don't like taking matches against blue belts, so it's like pretty cool that he gave us the opportunity to just like put our name out there.
Yeah.
So definitely shout out Pop.
Yeah, thank you.
Pat,
Tab, VHTS, Riddle, just like
Goldtown.
Yo, shout out to Goldtown.MMA. Filmed a bunch of us training some technique instructionals, you know, just getting my name out there more. You know, I told them like get footage of both of you guys, talk to finishers, you know, like if anyone asks me like if they want a match on there, I'm always, you know, including Vanny and Frank, you know, like always tell them you've seen the photos, all 3 of us, you know, soon to be four with Diego, get him in jiu-jitsu scene. So soon you'll see, you know, a lot more prodigies coming up, including us.
Nice. All right, guys. So we'll end it there. Like, share, comment. Let us know what you thought of the podcast.
Hell yeah.